Hey everyone, Tankenstein here, and in this video I've got your gameplay for the A-4E Early. This is a rank 6, 8.7 BR squadron vehicle for the American Air Tech Tree, and in fact actually, this is one of the first squadron vehicles ever released in War Thunder, and is to this day one of the most popular, still, maybe the most popular of all of the squadron vehicles. Now that being said, this is a heck of a plane. It features a nice armament. You can have up to 3 20mm Mk11 Mod 5 cannons slung underneath. You can use AIM-9B sidewinders, you can napalm, you can use 2,000 pound bomb, 1,000 pound bombs, 500 pound bombs. This thing can do it all except break the speed of sound. Either way, I'm going to use this in an air-to-air role today. I was initially considering using all 3 20mm cannons on the bottom, but really all that does is slightly increase your chance of hitting an enemy, plus also expands the width of your fire. So if that makes any sense, it makes it easier to hit an enemy when you're turning, but that's pretty much it. And I will also have the 2 AIM-9Bs, which I've actually had a lot of luck with those in using this plane. That being said, this is a really cool skin, and I'll try to link it below if you guys want to have it. That being said, let's get into the match, and I have to really stop saying that being said. So speaking of the A-4E being one of the most popular vehicles in game, I got into the match and this happened. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's me, 7, 8, 9 A-4Es on our team. That is ridiculous. There's only 1, 2, 3 vehicles that are not A-4Es, and the third one's still an A-4B. That is pretty darn crazy. Now that said, let's get into some strengths and weaknesses of this plane, and I kind of want to do that from here on out, go over strengths, weaknesses, and everything of that nature. Whoa, wrong button, but I saw plenty of flares and chaff and all that stuff. So I want to go over strengths and weaknesses if I can with these. Oh, that guy just ejected his bombs. Woo! Okay. So this thing has very powerful, I'll just go over that right now, very powerful flaps. They are good up to a very high speed, if I'm not mistaken, over 750 kilometers per hour, which should be plenty sufficient for most people in everyday combat. Everyday combat, that's a funny word, or a funny way to say it. So I'm going to go for this F-84F. Okay, there we go. I don't really want to shoot him more, but I have to secure the kill because A-4E pilots, let me tell you guys, they are thirsty. So again, going back to, ooh, there's a scimitar. Going back to what I was saying, the A-4E Early, this is pretty much like an intermediate version of the A-4E. It's very good. Man, is this guy coming for me? He might be. I hope not, because I really want to go for the scimitar. But he's going for me. P-bones. No, he's actually not going for me. Nice! Wow! What is this R3 doing? Woo! Okay, now he's going for me. Okay. I guess... Oh, jeez. Let's get into an, I guess the next match here and actually go over the strengths and weaknesses a little bit more. But overall, 2 kills quickly, none too bad, especially when it looks like your team is being demolished. It is never a good sign when A-4Es are everywhere on your team, because you are probably not going to win that match, because everybody from low experience to high experience will have that plane. But, of course, I'm here to help you guys out if you want to fly it. So let's get into the next match. I'll go over strengths, weaknesses, and tactics if we have the time. So let's get into some of the strengths and weaknesses before we actually make contact with the enemy here. And just bear in mind that all of my commentary is done live. So as I'm pressing the A and the D keys to make my plane move and, you know, do all this with my mouse, that's all being done live. So I don't really have the benefit, at least as of my current, like how I record it, I don't have the benefit of just polishing this up after the match. So there's not really all too much I can do. Also, my entire team is pretty much lower BR than me, and their entire team is like higher BR. What the heck? What the heck? I've been in, like, my team has been up-tiered. What the poop? Anyways, let's get into some of the strengths and weaknesses here. This F-84F seems to be fairly low energy. But first and foremost, for its strengths, this has a pretty decent rate of acceleration. It's not fantastic, but it's good enough where at low-ish speed, you'll be able to at least gain back your speed pretty decently. Hopefully he doesn't do anything stupid. Oh, that was nasty. Okay, this guy's going to want some too. Everyone thinks that they can just mess with me because I'm in an A4. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Okay, now I'm going to try to do this again. Hopefully I don't have anyone else on me. 3 kills. 3 kills for the guy in the A-4E. Okay, let's put these flaps on. Pull up. Okay, going down for this F-84. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so that's another strength. You have good flaps. Good flaps and also really nice access to flares, which is not the most common thing at or around this BR. Okay, I got someone else near me. This is a 10 dart. I'm going to try to pull up. Try to pull up. That was a mistake. That was a fool's errand. This guy's coming down for me, though. So one thing to really know, and is probably on full display here, poor energy retention. And while it does have good acceleration, it's not going to be able to maintain its speed all too well going uphill, just because, I mean, it doesn't have an afterburner. It's got good acceleration at relatively low speeds, but that's it. You know, that is really about it. Also, it can carry a tremendously large payload, but the problem with its payload... Okay, I'm going to go for this guy because my team seems to not be able to. I feel bad. He started bugging out right as my brain connected to say, don't fire at that. I feel bad now. But regardless, the show goes on. So that being said, we have this SU-7 here, SU-7 there, Sukhois. So it appears as though, even though my team has been fully up-tiered, we ain't doing too bad. I'm kind of disappointed that none of those were hits. Let's go waste the rest of my ammo. Try to get a shot. Nothing. Okay. Time to go back because I'm not going to get anything. But let's go over some of the strengths and weaknesses on my way back. So, strength, again, great acceleration at low speed. As you can see for a non-afterburning engine, I'm gaining speed fairly well. Its rate of climb is also not all too bad, but of course, once you hit that 750, 800 kilometer per hour barrier, you start to gain speed a lot less. Of course, this plane can go over 1,000 kilometers per hour, but it's not going to be easy, and as you are typically going to have some sort of ordnance, in this instance, I started this match with missiles and a gun cannon, a gun pod rather, you will not move all that fast, and that kind of brings me into a weakness. This plane is incredibly adversely affected when carrying ordnance. Almost more than most, if not all, other planes. This guy's coming for me. Is he? He might be. So this plane is incredibly adversely affected when it comes to carrying ordnance. You're just not going to be able to carry a ton of ordnance with it and expect to have any level of performance. And that's partially because of how small it is. While it can carry literally tons of bombs, cannon, like gun pods, missiles as well, you're just not going to be able to do that well. It's not the F4, for example. It's not a Mirage. This plane is going to be very slow. In fact, actually, if you're carrying a full load of napalm, you're probably not going to be able to get much above 600 kilometers per hour. But let's go back to a strength here. And I guess the next strength is going to be the fact that it has countermeasures. So as I think I stated before, as I was being pursued by all those planes, you can actually carry a nice amount of countermeasures, 60 in total, and that actually saved me right there. So now I've got 4 kills, pretty darn decent. And the great thing is that you're typically only going to be able to face low BR enemies, you know, well, relatively low BR. Like, you're not going to be facing 10.0 BR planes all that often, which is very, very nice. Another strength is that this has air brakes, and these air brakes I've used to great effect because of how slow this thing is. Enemies can easily overshoot you, and then you could just go and shoot them right back as they're passing you. It's happened before. It is a wonderful thing, and one of my favorite things about this plane. But overall, I mean, there's not really a ton of strengths and weaknesses that you can find here. This is a very general strike fighter, and in many ways, it's kind of like an early multi-role fighter. It's just a good overall plane, but of course, it is a touch slow. It can carry a lot of ordnance, but more than most other planes, as mentioned before, you will pay for carrying that ordnance with a severe drop in performance. Anyways, let's see. I'm sure that I'm going to be able to get back into this and actually fight some people, but who knows? So maybe next match, maybe not, but let's see what we can do here, guys. And now as we get into this final battle of this gameplay slash tips and tricks slash whatever you want to call it video, I have decided to go with the 3 20mm gun pod setup. And as you can see, that A-4E up there, he only has 1 gun pod and 2 missiles, kind of like I was carrying in the last match. And he is way ahead of me. So this is a very limited loadout. This is something that is good close range, but that's it. That A-4E has a benefit. He's got a performance advantage over me. He's got capability advantage, arguably, because those missiles can hit farther out targets, especially if they're a bomber. And he still has a pretty decent cannon setup. Of course, I've got around 30 kilograms per second of burst mass, whereas he only has like 10, I think, give or take. So, you know, I've got a lot of burst mass, but he's got overall better capability. This IL-28 is doing something a little fishy here. I'm not sure why he's going over here, but I'm going to see if I can take him out. That A-4E is probably going to launch a missile on him. Yep, and this is what I mean. That A-4E will be able to go and fight him, whereas I can't. If I had my... Yep, there you go. If I had a better setup here, a more performance-oriented setup, I would have been the one with that kill potentially. But that said, let's get into tactics. And tactics will depend on the type of setup that you have, as one might imagine. So being that this is probably going to be about the heaviest air-to-air setup that you can have. Ooh, that's not good. That Swift F1 wants some. And I am not looking to give it. So being that this is pretty much the heaviest... Oh, that MiG-17 wants some too. This is the heaviest setup that you're going to be able to have when it comes to an air-to-air roll. Nice. I got someone behind me, I think. Okay, yep, there we go. That MiG-15 wants some. Got him. Take off my flaps. So it's actually not a poor fighter when it comes to maneuverability. But it is... Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. Holy cow, I missed all those. This is not a terrible fighter when it comes to maneuverability, but like I said, with each little piece of ordnance that you have equipped to this, you will see a massive drop in performance. I mean, it is... Oh, got a comet behind me. We kind of want to fly straight. It's going to hit me if I do. Make a quick turn here. And he he passed me. Ooh, this G91 might be a target. Maybe. Not a hit. This is going to be a hit. Got a few hits. That is all that matters. Did some damage to the left wing. That Swift is still up. Oh, I'm going to die. Maybe not. And will I have enough speed to recover? Just barely. So I got 3 kills here. And I am just totally prey when it comes to these enemies. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to switch on air brakes as though I couldn't get any more stupid. I'm going to... Hopefully this ME-163 can overshoot, and he won't. Oh, I almost hit him. Anyways, you know what? That's 3 kills. This is what I mean. I get kind of caught up in my commentary. But that said, you know what? I'm just going to do one quick match, one really fun match. And that's where I'm going to go over tactics, and hopefully that kind of concludes it. But not so bad, not bad thus far. 2 kills, 4 kills, 3 kills. Let's get into a final match. A final match. So as one might guess by now, I have got a particular fondness for air AP, and so I might cap off my gameplay with that from now on. Now that said, I'm not liking this, but I am liking that. So let's get into some of the tactics. I mean, this plane is pretty much just going to be a plane that you need to preserve energy with. You're not going to be able to make a lot of speed in this thing. It's just a very slow plane overall. I mean, pretty much every plane that you're going to fight is going to outpace you very quickly, as a matter of fact. It's just not got much energy. It's got awful energy retention, regardless of if you're playing RB, AB, does not matter. Now, once you do that, once you get your kill, you pick your target of opportunity, speed away as best you can, gain a little bit of speed, and hope that the next guy doesn't see you. Ultimately, this is probably be... I can't even speak. This will probably be best when fighting bombers, because bombers aren't going to be all that incredibly fast. But that's about it. You know, I mean, one of the great things about the A-4E is that it has AIM-9Bs, and when fighting bombers, especially ones that are running away from you, maybe at around 2-ish kilometers per hour, or 2-ish kilometers in total, you have the ability to kill them. I made a big mistake. That guy does not have the cannons I have. And look at that difference. So, of course, this is AB versus RB, but regardless, you can see the massive difference in performance that guy has over me. So your ideal setup, I mean, your meme setup is going to be this setup that I have here. I mean, no doubt about it. This is a meme setup. But if you want a good setup, probably for air-to-air, it's either going to be the two AIM-9Bs just by themselves, or the AIM-9B plus a single 20mm gun pod. Personally, I would go with the 20mm gun pod as well, because I feel like that is just enough, and it gives you enough versatility with the AIM-9Bs where you will be able to do well in any given match. Ooh, I thought I had someone behind me. But it's not necessarily going to be the king of all things. I mean, this is just it's a good multi-role fighter, but every single plane there, except for that KI-84, which why is he in this match? Whatever. Every single plane right there in that group of allies can easily outpace me. So that's just the story of this plane. It's not a bad plane. It's a slow plane. And even though it's got decent acceleration, especially at the beginning of the match from low speed, you're just not really going to have all too much where you're going to be all too good. You're not going to be able to outpace many people, unfortunately. So again, climb up a little bit. I would say the AIM-9B and one gun pod armament is probably going to be your best bet. Go and fight enemies when you're on the downhill. You know, of course, you can also head-on enemies when you have the 3-gun setup, which is a viable gameplay option, believe it or not, if you can pull away just in time. But, of course, that sort of thing also happens. So, that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I mean, like I said, tactics are extremely important in this. Gain a little bit of altitude, fly down a little bit, and kill your enemy, fly away, gain a little bit of altitude, come down. It's like a roller coaster with the A-4E. You need to get energy because it does not retain energy in fights. Either way, thanks again, guys. The match is over. We won. And please like, comment, subscribe. You know the dealio. But I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.